I've been feeling a little bit extra recently and I decided to have a photo shoot where I take pictures of all of my crochet patterns. I wanted to kind of streamline my listing pictures a little bit, have them all with similar backgrounds and sort of make sense on a page together. And this has been a little bit of a learning curve for me as somebody who's definitely not a photographer. So I thought I'd share my process with you. I don't know if I would recommend my method, but I'm pretty happy with the final pictures, so I will show you. There was an ultimate goal for these pictures, which I'm calling the 3 C's, which was colourful, cohesive and cheap. Okay, so first let's go into some of the setup. For each of the pattern photos I wanted themes, so this one was sort of like a colourful party vibe. It had honeycomb balls, multicoloured fairy lights, and I made a hanging circle garland. And then this was my setup with my phone on a tripod and a light. So the main things to note from the first clips is that I'm taking all of my photos against a plain white wall, and this just really helps when you're going back in to sort of colour change. I've literally just been taking all of these on my iPhone 14. I used the back camera and it's still definitely not the best for photos, but I think it did the job. I also have a cheap little content light that I popped on the top, although if I'm being honest, I don't think it was really adding anything at all to the photos. I think if you had a big fancy one, it would. Some of my setups were much simpler. The cat patchwork, for example, only had fairy lights and a wicker star garland. I took the cat patchwork pictures on a clothing rail, and a little pro tip, if it keeps like swaying and moving from the hanger, then you can tie it to the back of the clothing rail. So that was what I did to sort of hold it in place. The only things I purchased for this were some fabric and some iridescent circle garlands, and those were for my final 2 sets, and that brought my grand total expenditure for these photos to £9. I was very much going for vibes for each of the sets, but based off things that I kind of already had lying around. Okay, so I've now done almost all of them. I've just got 2 more patterns left. I've definitely left the most finicky ones for last. Well, I was waiting on an Amazon delivery. Got some fabric to kind of replicate an under the water theme. My room is also such a mess now because I've just thrown clothes and bits of decor everywhere. I have no idea how big this is going to be. I need to try and get it on the ceiling. Wasn't quite the vision I was going for, but I'm not sure what else I can do without sticking more hooks on the wall. I don't have any more. It's coming up here. Does that look under the sea-esque? Okay, I think I've got it. Although I've just lost the sun, which is a bit annoying because they're not reflecting anymore. Okay, so this is what I've got, and it's like that. And then imagine a blue wall. We'll try it and see. Once I'd taken all my pictures, I kind of wanted to just edit them a little bit. The main thing I was wanting to do was change the background colour. I tried originally to do that in Procreate, but it just ended up looking a little bit fake. So I decided to splash out on 1 month of Lightroom Pro for $6.99. Now I couldn't find a way to do this next part without some sort of paid app, but there might be one out there. So let me show you how I edited them. I used my iPad to edit these. Well, I just opened up my picture. And then the first thing I do is this little plus button down at the bottom right. I press that and I pressed select background. And then from here you can change the colour of it. What I then went and did from here is press subtract from mask and used the little brush symbol. And then I went through and I just erased all of these little extra bits. I did take quite a while doing this in my original one, but so I'll just do a couple so you can see the difference. And then where I went to was so I've got my mask selected here and I went into colour and I used this little arrow here to adjust the background. And the really great thing about this is that it keeps all of the shadows that were there, so it just looks a little bit more natural. And then I just messed around a little bit with the saturation. So once I'd done all of that, this was how it sort of turned out. And you can see that I've done that for each of them here, where I've created the mask and taken out sections of it. That's basically it. And that's everything. That's how I took my new photographs for all of my listings. And if you are interested, if you check out Crochet by Lib on all platforms, you should be able to see them up there. Thank you so much if you've watched this far. If you like this video, then please feel free to like and subscribe, and I hope to see you in the next one.